Welcome back to Boost and Balance Podcast,
where beauty meets brains.
All right, so today we're diving into the world of biostimulators.
I'm Becca, and this is Brittany, and per your guys' request,
Yes.
We've actually been putting polls online and trying to see what people are interested in. We've researched what people are searching, and it is all biostimulators.
Sculptra is trending everywhere, including on our websites and, just in general. When I did a poll, 70% of you wanted to learn more about it. So
what is a biostimulator, Britt?
So a biostimulator is like the product Sculptra. So it's not made from hyaluronic acid like an HA filler. It's made, well, specifically, if we're talking about Sculptra, from poly-L-lactic acid. Okay?
Glad you said that instead of me.
Not HA, which means nothing to people who don't do this. So the moral of the story is what this product does is go in there and tells our body to stimulate its own natural collagen. How this was created was not in aesthetics, and that's 90% where things come from aesthetics. It came from somewhere else in medicine. Sculptra was created in the medical industry for AIDS patients because their bone and tissue degeneration that happens. You'll see patients, especially if you're in nursing school, you'll learn about these patients. Their bone structures narrow, especially in their lower face. Causes a lot of issues with healing properties. They end up with wounds that they can't heal. And this product was created to help strengthen those tissue and build back some of that bone mass. And what they seen was that stimulation of collagen and those healing properties and the ability to add volume if they wanted to. So it has changed dramatically over the last 30 years, but it's a product that's been on the market for a long time.
And they were like, holy cow, if it can do this to damaged tissue, what can it do to someone that just needs a little help, And what you need to understand, though, is going into a Sculptra treatment is knowing what to expect, knowing what you're getting into. The difference between this and HA fillers, for me personally, it's the fear of the unknown, and that's what will get you every time as far as expectations. If you know what to expect when you go in, you'll be happy about the results. So
once again, like we talked about, people said, well, Sculptra didn't work for me. And it's not because it didn't work for you. It's because it wasn't used properly, or
not enough treatments were done.
Treatments, not in the correct tissue plane or in the correct area of what you were looking for. So let's talk about that. What does Sculptra do? Sculptra replenishes collagen, replaces minimal volume in areas where collagen has been depleted. If you are looking for structured, contoured cheeks,
this is not for you.
That's filler. That's filler, and that's an overnight result. Your Sculptra is going in there and getting rid of where, your fat pads shrink here and all the fat. So as we age, starting at the age of 25, our fat pads start to shrink and some start to swell. But aging process starts to change dramatically. 25, 30, 35, 40. With those fat pads shrinking, that's why the center of the face is the area of focus for many people. It makes us look sad, makes like our jowls is showing. And it's just because those structures are becoming weaker. So what Sculptra does is going to help maintain those structures, place them back by building back what the body has lost naturally.
And that takes time.
It does take time. Think about all the time it took for it to happen. Even though it seems like overnight, that's just part of aging, unfortunately. It happens faster and faster.
Yes.
It's a process. So same thing goes with building it back. It doesn't just go in there and put it right back. It has to go in there and actually heal properties of the tissue and then stimulate collagen production. So it is something that is for preventative reasons and to reduce the look of looking overfilled, because HA filler adds volume. It goes in there and it replaces volume.
Exactly.
And you can only do so much. It's not going to stop aging. It's not going to reverse age. It's not going to slow it down. It's just going to lift some of those structures. So what this actually does is help slow that process down and replace what our body is naturally getting rid of. So this is your investment. This is your maintenance program.
Absolutely. And something that we tell our injectors, something to think about. If you are a provider, if you're a provider and you have a client come in and their personality type, how they are, they want that instant gratification. They want that immediate feeling of it getting better. This is not going to be the one for them. And that's something you have to think about. And you can almost tell, I'm like, ooh, she takes her skincare seriously when they come in asking about these collagen, these biostimulators.
Well, this is your plan for the future is your Sculptra, okay? This is your retirement plan.
Exactly.
Okay, and then your HA filler is just like the little happies. like my shopping online
Yes.
that I have issues with, okay? HA filler is instant gratification, but if I am not paying attention to what's happening or being taught about what is happening, that instant gratification is going to get less and less because I'm not going to be able to achieve those goals with just HA filler. So if this industry is something that you've invested your time and money in, then Sculptra or biostimulators like Radius are going to be things that you eventually want to dive into, because you are maintaining what you're building on and you're preventing aging. That's the whole goal of this, is we don't want to age, or we're trying to enhance features. This is also for our natural clients who love the way they look, which great, it's fantastic, or they don't want people to know, or they don't want any real change, but they just see, the last 5-10 years I've seen the aging. So those people who are okay with waiting for that process to occur, that 6-month time frame, those are people that shine with Sculptra. And that doesn't mean that just because you're impatient, this isn't for you.
No, it does not. Like I said, knowing what you're getting into on the front end is, I believe, all of it. And that's my suggestion to you as a provider. If you're a provider listening, explain. Show before and afters, because they won't believe it. It takes 3 to 6 months to stimulate this collagen. And as women, well, most human beings, we've got about 4 minutes that we're ready to wait. Besides that, we don't want to wait for those results. But
so that's also why, as the injector, I have certain areas that I know my products shine in. For instance, Sculptra is so great in the lower face. So I will go up into the upper face, replenish those areas with HA fillers, and then in 9 months, we can treat with Sculptra in that area. But for now, I'm lifting those structures. I'm giving them that instant gratification. And then we're talking about, hey, for the next, say they're 30, they need 3 treatments. And we'll talk about that. We're going to invest the next 3 to 6 months into, helping these structures become stronger and prevent aging from happening. So my neck area, HA filler can go in the necklace lines all day, guys, okay? But it's not going to tighten the skin. So people are like, well, I've seen so-and-so got, filler in their neck and it fixed it. It's not going to tighten the skin. Your collagen stimulation and structural stuff is your Sculptra, or your threads, which also produce collagen, which are also a form of a biostimulator. So there's just certain areas that they shine in, and that is really where I hone in on, like, okay, how can I give you instant results to make you happy?
Exactly.
Trusting relationship with one another, but then you allow me to do what I also know I'm great at, and that is to prevent these things from getting worse and making your overall results better.
Which is a beautiful, beautiful way to look at it. You've psychologically thought this through for sure.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Let's talk about some common misconceptions. What are some common misconceptions with Sculptra? It's only for older people. It's not true.
So individuals believe that Sculptra is needed when those structures are no longer able to support themselves. Well, yes, it's fantastic for that, but also let's talk about how many treatments you need. A vial per decade. So we do treatment areas, say I do lower face, I'm using 1 vial of Sculptra, right? I use 1 vial in one setting. I have them come back in 4 to 6 weeks, and we do a second treatment. If they're 30, they're getting 3 treatments. If you're 35, I'm going to probably do 4 treatments. It's a vial per decade to stimulate collagen. You got to think about the decades you've lost collagen. And it's not a perfect number for everybody. Everybody stimulates collagen differently. Your health's different. How you take care of your body. You may not stimulate collagen as good as somebody who goes to the gym and eats healthy if you're eating at McDonald's every day and then doing no exercise. So there are different lifestyle factors, but for the most part, this product is still going to be a working horse and go in there and do its job. So
think about me. Like, I lost 56 pounds.
Right.
A lot of that structural, the tissue that I had there to hold it tight, to hold it taut.
It was nice and fluffy then.
Yeah, it was all lost. It's
fluff.
like a balloon when you blow a balloon up way too much. And I was a Bertha balloon. So it's a lot of stretching. A lot of the structural tissue there is damaged throughout that process, and it's never going to go back to the way it was.
And they're fat pads. So fat pads swell, they get larger, and that's what we hate about fat, right? And then when we lose weight, fat in the face is lost as well, and then we already have sagging structures because gravity is wonderful as well and pushes those down. So there's so many different factors. It doesn't have to be your age, but also what's great about the younger generation, besides y'all's necks, you really got to start working on your necks, because tech neck, you're all going to have the worst necks. You 20-year-olds
Give
now,
it 20 years, you wait.
y'all's neck. So I'm working on a special product for you. But that's why these products are great too, in the understanding that this isn't such a taboo industry anymore. It's like going to the dentist. It's normal.
Yep.
You go as a routine for maintenance to prevent things in the future. Baby talk, Sculptra is another one. It's going to prevent those structures from reducing. It tightens the skin. It has other properties that it's not just about volume. We use it for making the skin glow, adding that collagen back, adding that structure, shrinking those pores, adding a glow to the skin. Sculptra is just beautiful in so many different properties and different ways that we can utilize it.
And I'm glad you said that. So let's talk about, which I know you have an entire podcast that you and Nikki talked about with the biostimulators versus HAs, but the versatility of Sculptra.
Right.
I love the fact that, okay, let's talk about this, for example. Let's say I've got a little bit of sagginess on my booty that I'm not super interested in having. I'm not going to put an HA filler there.
Why?
Well, my goodness, I sit on my butt.
Exactly. That's going to migrate. We're worried about the lips and they're movable and just the migration happens naturally there. Could you imagine sitting on your booty all day and put an HA filler there? No, we want something that works with the tissue that stimulates our own body's growth of something to act as if. Make sense? Therefore, if I'm doing a booty lift with Sculptra, and that's also why it makes it so versatile. It's all about how we reconstitute it, whether we're trying to add structure, volume, or tighten skin. It's all about how thick or thin we make this.
The fact you have the ability to do that with that, I love that.
Scientific. It's insane. Like you're a little chemist back there, and those dilutions are crucial to where. That's why granulomas in the face. First off, somebody probably injected too much in an area. Didn't properly, utilize the product in the correct area it was supposed to be placed in. Or you've got people doing HA filler, and you may not know you have somebody that tells you they haven't got filler in a year, and then you go and put Sculptra in that area that they have HA fillers, and they form granulomas. So it's just, there's so many different factors. So keeping yourself safe, understand the versatility. If you see great structure in their cheeks, and they told you they've got filler within the last year, wait it out. It's not worth it. You don't know when they've actually got it unless they're going to give you something or information, or it's on their alley or Aspire that their last treatment was. But still, use your knowledge and develop those things safely.
So let's say I'm a client and I come in to get Sculptra. Can you kind of tell me what the process, what should I expect the day of, a week after? What should I anticipate?
So if you're somebody getting Sculptra in the face, say we're doing your full face, you don't have a lot of volume loss, you're just wanting to prevent aging, add some refreshed look to your skin and tighten it. So what I would tell you is the day of injection, I'm going to reconstitute this product in a way that I can see what it would look like when it's at its final stage. Okay? So I can see how much filling I'm getting or how much structure I'm getting in the area I'm placing it in. So this face will look swollen as we inject it. So that's the biggest thing, swelling from the product, because it's a liquid. The body will then absorb that liquid in which we created this product, and the actual material, which is that PLLA, and that's your actual Sculptra, that is a biocompatible ingredient that goes in there and tells the body to stimulate collagen. So it's almost like a medication. It is a medication. That's why aesthetics is the medical thing, is because it's a medication. It's a medication that tells the body to create more collagen, to strengthen tissue. So that takes time. I've just now placed it. And how I explain to patients is, we just planted the seed in the garden.
So right now I'm swollen, I'm a little red, no big deal. Okay.
You got the seed, we laid the seed. The body will absorb that excess water, and it'll look like nothing happened. Like you did nothing day 4 or 5. You're like, okay, there's nothing happening here.
Okay.
4 to 6 weeks, collagen stimulation starts to occur. 3 months, we're starting to actually see those results. And then 6 months for optimal results. That is with the recommended amount of treatments. That's not one treatment, you're waiting 3 months and seeing results. That's 3 months after you've completed 3 treatments to see those results. It'll look better and better, and especially when you look at your photos each month.
Because you're building collagen that whole time.
But it's not until, say, you're 35.
Right.
We did 4 treatments. It's 4 months later. 3 months after that 4 months is when you're like, oh my gosh,
here it is. It's here.
And then how do you maintain that? Every 6 months to a year, which you're keeping up with your Botox, you still probably doing HA fillers, microneedling, facials. If you're in this industry, you don't just come once a year. Most of the time you're in here quite often, because you're maintaining this is an investment. It's the most expensive thing you'll ever wear is your skin. So you're in here quite often. We're evaluating, but maintenance is key. You don't want to wait for this all to be gone and then to restart and then look at that again. You got now here it's a year later, you're getting older, so you may need more treatments.
Exactly.
And we don't want to start all over. So it's a maintenance thing. So once we get you to those optimal results, then we want to maintain those results.
Now, what is the rule of 5 with Sculptra is
what you do when you go home, your aftercare.
Exactly. And it's crucial. It's important.
Yes. So we planted that seed, right? Now we got to get the grass to grow. It needs a little attention, a little watering. So you have to massage the area that's treated 5 times a day for 5 minutes for 5 days. And that's so the product doesn't just go into one area. That's how granulomas are formed. There's too much product in an area. We want to keep that nice and smooth and spread out. So that way it's all the tissue, it's integrating like it's supposed to. Swelling didn't cause it to move to the surface level and not do its job or stay in one area. So massaging is key to get it to do what we want it to do, but also prevent some of those side effects like granulomas.
This product is not partial to where it's going to stimulate collagen.
She needs a lot of attention.
Yes.
And she needs patience.
But in saying that, if you put a lot of this product in one area, it's going to create a lot of collagen in that one area. So that's why you want to make sure you're massaging, dispersing this product out where you get the most utilization over an area.
So the face is one of the most common areas for granulomas because it's superficial.
Yeah.
And people aren't massaging. So that's key for that. Now the booty, obviously we're using much more volume and we're reconstituting it thinner too because we're using so much volume and we're overlaying it. But it's less likely to get granulomas just because the product is thinner and the amount of tissue that we're working with. So still can happen. Still have the rule of 5s anytime this is used, you have to do that in order to prevent those side effects from happening and to get it to do its job.
So if you are a client that is like for me, for example, my goal is to look like I did 10 years ago. That is my goal this whole time, just trying to turn back the clock a little bit. This is going to be the product for you. It's a good natural option. Of course, I love some HAs too, but it's nice to know that while I'm getting my HA filler, I have the Sculptra in the background doing what it needs to be doing for my structural tissue. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's working overtime to prevent you from having to do more in the future.
Exactly.
And another thing I ran into this week was a patient who went and got a procedure done, and she's like, well, I did it so I didn't have to get Botox. I did it so I didn't have to get filler so often because it's expensive. I'm sorry to break it to you. None of this, you can't just do one thing and have all the results. We can't stop aging. All we can do is slow it down and we understand why it's happening. So we go in there and we attempt to manipulate those structures or make them healthier. So that way we're not letting it go. But there's even a facelift. You get a facelift, you're not just free of having to do Botox and fillers. You still have volume loss. You're still reducing collagen.
Your muscles are still moving.
Yes. So there's no just one answer for anything. So this is an investment. The most expensive thing you'll ever wear is your skin. But Sculptra is one of the ones that can go in there and help you in the future from having to do a facelift or from having to do these huge dramatic procedures because you didn't take care of your skin on the front end. So you are eliminating future problems. It's just like taking your vitamins.
Exactly.
This is like taking your vitamins for your skincare. So it's just, there's so much we can do with it. It's beautiful results. The neck is one of my favorite places for Sculptra just because it does the job. It tightens that area. But I will let you know on the front end if skin needs to be cut off. We're not making the neck thicker and bigger. We're tightening the skin. So if things have to be physically, mechanically removed, it's not going to be with Sculptra, okay? And that's another thing why I love it for the lower face. Because HA fillers, you see these women, or with the cheeks, I mean,
it can be so
bigger.
heavy.
They look like their heads are this big and their body's this big because they're just overfilled.
Yes, it's so heavy on the lower face too. It can be.
And we don't want to do that. Plus we have this buccal fat pad that's swelling as we age, which accentuates the lower face. We just want to keep those structures or tighten those structures so that way they don't loosen and come to the center. And that's what Sculptra is going to do. HA filler is just going to add volume. It's a hyaluronic acid, a water molecule, volume. We don't want that in the lower face, and we don't want that in the neck either. So there's just certain areas that these products shine, but as a preventative reason, as an anti-aging, as a skin health, glowing porcelain skin is Sculptra.
This is it.
I mean, it's like giving you brand new skin, brand new collagen.
Yes.
And it lasts 2 years, but that's without maintenance. You still got 2 years of this product, but you're not going to start all the way over because you're going to maintain what you just invested in.
Exactly. So if you're looking for, versatility, more natural results, longer lasting,
Preventative.
this is going to be the product for you. And like we always say, knowing what product is right for you is going to get you the correct results. So,
and waiting, I'll wait till next year because I'll be older. Well, then you're starting all over there, and the older you get, the more damage is done.
You're just setting yourself back further.
Right.
You've got to get up to par before you can maintain.
I believe if you are somebody who invests in HA fillers, you need to invest in Sculptra as well. It just kind of
they go hand in hand.
The purpose to not maintain something, just like skincare. If you're doing fillers and Botox and you're not using skincare, I don't understand the point.
It's 50%.
It literally makes no sense to me.
Exactly. So
can you drink water without a cup? It's like drinking out of a faucet. It's stupid. It doesn't make any sense. Get a cup. Use your skincare. It's not a great analogy, but still,
no, it's a phenomenal analogy.
It's like common sense to me. Well, I'm not calling anybody out either. I'm just saying skincare is important. Okay, skin health. That's your number one thing that you need to worry about on the front end, and then from there, the rest is just the cherry on top.
Exactly. So.
All right, we'll quit
rambling, and that's a wrap for today on the
peer pressuring you, but just know we're here to support you.
And we're going to probably continue with biostimulators next week. We might talk a little bit about Radiesse. I don't know. We haven't really decided yet, but
we may do another poll, see what y'all are interested in hearing about. Either way, it's all good things, all educational, here to help you, okay? That's our main goal.
If you like the information that we gave you today, don't forget, make sure you subscribe, leave a review, and we will see you guys next week.
All right.